Welcome back to the Big Brother / Survivor Specialist because Quinn went out with an immunity idol in his pocket. So
He's so funny, man. I can't wait till he plays again, see what he does next.
I don't know. I think it's my birthday came early, Christmas came early. This is like one of the best episodes we could talk about today because Quinn did in fact go home.
Oh my gosh. Unless we do reruns, we never have to see him again except for all the jury segments. Do you believe I don't know. I do you believe this was better gameplay for everybody today? I think that's a big question.
I just don't care. I'm just elated.
There we go. I think somebody was saying on the thought process online where it was like team good feeds, you should want Quinn to stay. It's like, no. At a certain point, all of these mistakes have to add up to where nobody puts you back in. And I thought it was very interesting how they did put that segment of Cam talking it through of like, he got rid of our entire 5-person alliance. We could probably be in the final 8 next round with 4 or 5 of us. But Quinn has made sure to blow that up and tell all the people that are going to vote him out as well tonight.
Yeah.
Like if Tikor and Rubina aren't even like, thank you for saving us, why should we be? And I was like, okay, that's making a lot of sense, Cam. Thank you.
The only person it was bad for is Leah. Now, Leah doesn't have someone who is close to people in power protecting her. So I think now we'll see Leah on the block a lot more.
Interesting.
Because
Angela's won 2 HOHs, though. Angela's got a third one. It's probably the swing around on a thing. Did we get any previews of what HOH is going to be?
No. It was just like the Ainsley was like the preview.
And maybe it's too hard to get Jerry O'Connell to say, stay with us and watch all night long on Pluto TV and Paramount Plus. Overall, what are you giving Jerry O'Connell as a grade for his hosting duties?
Are we out of 5 or out of 10?
Or letter grades, whatever you want to do. It's your podcast. Okay. Yeah.
Well, if we're doing letter grades, a B+.
Nice.
Like pretty good, but there's room for improvement.
I think once you figure out like the marks and which camera, okay, it's gonna zoom over. That was the only shaky thing I saw. I thought he was pretty natural, and somebody mentioned this, and I agree. So that's why I always go. Somebody mentioned this because I agree. Actually, he's pretty goofy dude, and I think that's some good energy for not only like the show, but also like I'm feeling it for Julie. I don't adjust your TV set like. I don't know if anybody's written a fan fiction over the last 15 years of watching Big Brother of what it would look like if someone else hosted than Julie, but I think he's Julie's coworker on the talk.
Yeah.
Or used to be. Is Julie still on the talk? Like I don't know.
I didn't know. He was still a co-host on the talk. Is Julie still a co-host on the talk?
I thought she said peace after the thing that happened with your husband, but I also thought it was funny of like Julie wanted me to tell you guys love one another. Like I don't believe in that. Y'all should be hating, and that's what we're gonna do today. Kiss, marry, evict, or what was it?
Yeah, like fuck, marry, kill, but it was kiss, marry, evict.
YouTube. No, it's something where like Quinn took that as, wow, you guys really do like me, and I thought that was such a weird moment from Chelsie of like. Anybody really, Chelsie, you're about to introduce him to all your friends and say Quinn's a really good guy, you should date and marry him so we're all in a friend group together for the rest of our life. Julie has not been on the talk for 6 years. I knew it deep inside. Thank you. It did feel like it was 2.5 pandemics ago. Thank you for that. House is spoken. But like it is like Quinn is anybody would be lucky to have Quinn. Like, no, we were unlucky to have Quinn as fans. I can't imagine dooming one of my fellow friends to being Quinn's wife for 25 years. You know, that would be torture, right?
I don't know if she gets into that jury house, they might be smooching. Who knows?
Do you believe that? Or like, I guess she did
He,
say it in
he got the
confessional, which I
friend
don't
zone
understand.
stamp,
Right.
but like you can come out of the friend zone. It's possible, but like, is this fabricated? Like, are the producers being like, so Quinn, and she's just like, I don't know, maybe like.
Right. And they're like, oh, you nailed it, great job. We're gonna tell everyone. I don't know. That's just something where you're like,
Mm-hmm.
are you doing this for fun, or do you really think this?
Yeah, exactly. She still voted to keep Quinn in the game, but she also knew that like Quinn was going to be going home, and then like the whole stuff of her half getting thrown under the bus or getting like suspicions put on her, and I don't know. Leah's kind of in a bit of hot water right now, I feel.
I think Leah needs to win some kind of challenge next week. I'll be rooting for her. I don't know what this twist is going to be, or if we're going to end up caring about this at all. Like,
Yeah.
I do think it was funny of like Chelsie being like, "What the hell are you talking about? You got to go travel the world. Like, this is your job now. Julie don't want to be here now." Or I was like, that was hilarious. Like, I think I'm really coming around on Chelsie. Of why am I rooting against Chelsie?
Well, I
There's
mean,
no
it was
reason to
hard to
root
go
against her.
lower than what you thought of Chelsie.
Oh my gosh. Nobody, we erased that episode. Nobody can go find it. Nobody even remembers back that far either, probably. But I think let's do something we haven't done before, because now there's only 8 and it's kind of easy to do it because we have 2 hands of numbers. Who are you most rooting for to win the season now that we're in jury?
T-Core, Rubina.
Okay. Not
And
Kimbo though. That's crazy.
I don't
You
know.
hate gay guys? What the hell?
Putting words in my mouth, Blake.
I
mean, isn't there the age-old battle of the lesbians and the gays hate each other and can't get along? So,
but look at us. We're 17 episodes in or something. And this.
And then like Mackenzie would be an interesting one because she's like had a very up and down path throughout this entire game.
I will say I saw a live feed clip of Cam last night, and they were like, finally he's coming out of his shell, and he was doing
the tattoos,
like, the musical improv stuff.
Oh,
no, it was a feed clip, not an actual show clip, but it was like him doing musical theater, like, and that's why, and like they were clapping in the back and doing stuff, and he was saying all kinds of funny stuff where it was like, this is what the dogs in the crib probably get all the time. And this is a cool, like, of course this guy got put on the show. And like, there's some people that get to final 8 where you're like, I can't wait for them to lose. Like, their story's done. I don't feel like that for Cam. Like, I do think him winning an HOH and doing something would be not the most boring thing ever, but like, that's still interesting, even if he's like, oh, I'll be the one who finally goes after T-Core, Rubina, and T-Core, Rubina, and Chemo.
I was gonna try and read into the edit of like, oh, they're including this thing about Cam opening up because he might do something later on, and then I'm like, wait, this shit's live. Like, not
wait.
Wait.
I thought that was a weird storytelling device too. Of we've talked about this on the show of like, pay off your audience, where they like cliffhanger, does the veto get used on Angela or not? And like, if you're watching feeds or paying attention to your computer, it's like everybody knows since Monday. But like, did that pay off at all? And it was weird. I was like, why is Angela sitting in that seat? Oh yeah, we still haven't seen the veto get put on her. And I almost think like, what was crazy about Wednesday's episode is it didn't have that much of the actual competition. Like, how did we not have enough time during there's only one round of OTEV?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So why don't we get into OTEV? Okay. Trash Panda getting trash, other people's trash with trash names, and bring it to him, basically. And like, I get that they thought why they thought Tucker, but then I was like, wait, why are they thinking Tucker? That's not right. It's the chips. They weren't part
It's
of
the
the.
chips. And one of the chips didn't even catch on.
I know, which is crazy. And I'm like, when they started saying, "Oh, Tucker didn't participate," I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess like he technically didn't." But then that was the first round.
What the hell? Like, and like, I think the Trash Panda was so funny, and obviously he had a whole bunch of jokes ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think, I guess OTEV is always the one where they like kind of like take out all the frustration of like, y'all are fucking idiots. Oh, and like the fact that they were like, I'm sure the people behind the voice were like, I wish we could do this for 2 more rounds. And like, even like there's Orbeez in there, there's waterfalls, there's going and whatever. It almost felt like this is almost like a water park. Like at least let them
Mm-hmm.
get up and slide down or whatever. But I thought even in a very unimpressive showing, the most impressive thing was Angela just walking up an incline with no help, no rope, just powering Godzilla style up and I was like, I don't think I could even do that of like where is this lower body strength coming in without she
Mm-hmm.
didn't teeter, she did not totter, she did not fall over at
Let's
all.
get the slip and slide comp with Angela in it.
She's gonna surprise some people. Now I feel like can't like right now at Final Eight is kind of where they do have a physical HOH, and I'm like, who is going to beat Cam or Mackenzie if they're trying hard?
Leah, could she have a?
I don't think Leah's a physical threat.
Mm.
Like Leah's going to win
She kept
the
saying like, I came in second, came in second, came in second, so that's
yeah.
why.
Well, she got your ass. Not me though. Leah would not work on me. Honestly, I'm just so glad Quinn is not a winner of Big Brother. I do
Yeah.
think somebody that I want to kind of equate him to, which maybe y'all are going to be like, this is just mean, but he kind of feels like the Cochrane to me of
Mm-hmm.
Big Brother. Of
That they
like,
want to get, and I feel like they'd want to get him a win.
yeah, like, guess what? You're going to come back. It's the 15
Flip
dumbest
wall.
people and Quinn.
Yeah.
And when you have a medallion that takes you to Final Five, and you're like,
Friendship bracelets.
you're like, what? I don't know how harsh that is, but like it does feel like let's put the coffin Quinn funeral here of like he even I'm gonna put out a immunity idol. It's like none of that is genuine to me,
Mm-hmm.
even as like a super fan of
Yeah.
like I think the Michael B from a couple seasons ago was like, let's do that. Does anybody want cake for this birthday? But it's not like, why don't you just have a birthday party in the Big Brother house without trying to replicate everything? And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, why don't you backstab your ally without bringing up a reference to the last time someone backstabbed their ally?
Mm-hmm.
Or why don't you ask for votes in a funny, unique way instead of referencing the funny and unique way somebody asked for votes back in 2005?
What
And
I
it's like,
thought was
who are
interesting
you
is
proving this to?
Quinn got put on the block because him and Mackenzie were convinced Chelsie to want to save Angela from the block. And it's like, well, if you didn't do that, your ass wouldn't have been on the block. But now you decided, oh, let's save Angela. And now you're on the block.
Right. And it is like, how did like once again, I don't think this is a great move for Chelsie at all. Like they did try to frame it as like she's taking out someone in the middle, and it's like, but she's clearly on one of the sides.
Mm-hmm.
Why would she not? Like at 9, we're literally doing 3 trios maybe. But the trio maybe that I'm talking about is Leah with two of her, like Angela listens to me sometimes and Quinn listens to me. But Quinn is kind of with this trio that nominated him and evicted him.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think Quinn had a conversation with Rubina that really frustrated him of like, Rubina, why are you like giving me nothing, or you're kind of being a little harsh? And it was like, even since Tucker went home, like Rubina has been like, let's talk about it. I don't mind working with you in the future. I can separate game from personal. Don't worry. I don't want to just be Tucker's drag along. And like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Rubina did get through that with pretty much everyone besides Quinn. And then Quinn is like so frustrated of like, she's not listening to me because she just gonna vote. And it's like, why would she vote you? Why would she vote chemo out over you at all? Like, it's almost like, I'm gonna do anything to stay in this house, but there's sometimes where you're like, this isn't worth it, and this is just not pathetic, but like
Mm-hmm.
there's a layer of that where you're like, the futility is scary. And like, I think there was one final thing last night of, I got home pretty late from playing baseball. I was on the Dodgers. I was watching the Dodgers game, and it was like, this is going to be Quinn's last gasp of, he's going to talk to the five to try and get them to keep him. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which five it was, or if it was just a group of people. And like, he had been talking like, this is the time to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
like, in the first 5 minutes, he was like already done, and everyone was like, why did I stay up for this? This is the worst like thing possible. And I think it was just like, it all comes down to like, is Quinn more deserving to be in the Big Brother house because he watched this in second grade? And like, does
Mm-hmm.
that mean anything to people that are against you or not? And like, if you really wanted to stay in the house, you wouldn't have told anybody about your power. If
Yeah.
you really had wanted to stay in the house, you wouldn't have backstabbed every alliance you had been in. If you really wanted to stay in the house, you wouldn't have nominated both of your final two members and booted them out on your HOHs. And so, if somebody's trying to say Quinn's a good player and he just got put in a bad week, no.
Mm.
If they're trying to say Quinn, like even the people in the house are like, strategically Quinn's one of the best players left, so getting him out makes sense. It's like, if you're not on Quinn's side, I would be like, keep Quinn around, because I literally anybody can trick him.
Yeah.
Like, there anybody that wanted to trick Quinn who wasn't like, if they didn't have somebody in his ear, like he got tricked. He got tricked.
Mm-hmm.
And America said, I don't like him either, and put him up from the
Yeah.
veto. Like, and I think someone was trying to be pretty rude of like, here's all the things that Quinn blew, and like now he doesn't even get a Julie interview. But it's like,
Yeah.
is Quinn gonna go for the rest of his life option select like, I'm the only person who didn't get a Julie interview? Like,
Yes.
that's an iconic. And now I'm just being rude, and like, but I do think, if it was like, do you want to, no, like, I don't want to be no, it's just, now we're being rude. That's where it got rude.
All
But
right. Let's pivot
like
away. Do you want to
no,
pivot away from
what I'm
Quinn?
trying to say is like, there's the idea of like, if you talk bad about somebody, they won't want to be on your podcast. We do have people on our podcast for Survivor people. Pretty early on for Big Brother, we haven't been reaching out to Big Brother house guests. But in the future, if it was like, don't you want Quinn to be on your podcast? It'd be like, I'd rather say the real opinion here, because I truly did not enjoy the super fan that Quinn was when
Mhm.
I was a big fan of Corey last year. And I think that is the difference of like, here's a super fan that's going to be entertaining, and here's one that's going to grate on my nerves.
Mhm. So that's the Quinn of it all.
That's the Quinn of it all.
What are your thoughts on Chelsie and Cam? Is there a crush on Chelsea's side, and does Cam reciprocate it? Because the whole tattoo scene, it felt very much like Chelsie has a lot of feelings for Cam, but I don't know if Cam feels them back. He's just like solidly in that alliance with her.
I do not think Cam is trying to date Chelsie. No.
Hmm. Do you think
And
Chelsea's trying to date Cam?
I do think that. But I I think that's the same type of like it's just the opposite of the Leah and Quinn scenario of like, well, Leah, I can get you would have a crush on him if there was only 3 men in the world that you were allowed to interact with. I could maybe get that one of them would I have a crush on Quinn because I kind of have to because
Her
that's
main alliances were like Quinn and Joseph, and I'm just like, the mustache just like does not do it for me. So like maybe without the mustache we could entertain Joseph, but like I don't know. And then
Joseph's
Quinn's
out
just
in the public. You got to watch out. He could show up behind you at any time.
and then Quinn just like, because for me the DRs turned me off of Quinn.
Right.
Like 100%. I was like, he's screaming at me and thinks he's hot shit.
He was even doing that today a little bit, and I'm like, I do think as soon as he got put up, he was kind of like, well, I'm toast. And like he did the funny stuff. He did the let me try everything.
Yeah.
But overall, it was kind of like this is the time where your bad decisions finally have to come and get you.
Mm-hmm.
And of the 8 people, I think there's some people that are saying Chemo does not deserve to get further in this game. Like he hasn't played well. And I think that's something where like this is where we're flipping of like that was a very important time for Chemo to get past Joseph because now we're going to be taking out threats instead of people that can keep us around.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of playing that double-edged sword of like Chemo is balancing his threat level of now I will stay against bigger threats. And that's an indirect way of playing that maybe like nobody's going to attribute that to that. But like, I think if you say who's going to win here, Mackenzie is not going home at final 8 unless something crazy happens.
Yeah.
And pretty much every single person that's had an HOH recently, like Joseph went home last week. So Quinn was HOH. Quinn went from HOH to losing. And that has happened, I think, 3 or 4 times. Like
Tucker went from HOH to out.
To losing. And then there's probably Quinn did as well. Not Quinn. Cedric,
yes.
So 3 times. So like this is a time where it's like if anybody does want to put this together, I think the house structure is Chelsie is in charge of her group. And then Chelsie is the head honcho for her group. T-Core is the head honcho for that trio.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both
Bring in Angela, you got a tie. Or you got 4-4.
But what I'm trying to say is those 2 head honcho people have kind of an agreement of we're not going to put each other up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think T-Core kind of said something about like Rubina and Chemo are like shields for her, and that kind of hurt Rubina's feelings. Or Rubina said that to T-Core, and T-Core was like, that's not how it is. So like that's the only kind of like there's a little bit of rumbling on that trio of are they going to be all nice to each other and happy? But like I'm wondering if like Rubina is ever going to be like, I don't currently like my place in this trio, because I think that's where the interesting stuff is going to happen over the next week. What kind of sucks is they did not say like, by the way, next Thursday is a double eviction.
Is it?
They didn't say that. They did not. But
maybe they're waiting.
Do they announce that on like Sunday nights now?
Sunday or even Wednesday night, being like,
so he can't go yell it over the backyard at him. But
yeah,
I think what's cool is this has been a fantastic season. We have used the veto blank many times in a row at this point. I do think the double eviction episodes are going to be very interesting. Of instead of pushing and pulling that whole time, it will be like, which one of this trio do you want to go? And like basically all of that gets snapped in like 5 minutes instead of like it's just gonna depend on like who's playing harder. I don't know. Nothing I said made sense, but I'm just trying to say of like Like, I do think Rubina, if she's put in between voting out T-Core or Chemo, and she has days to think about it, that's a foregone conclusion of T-Core is going to get her vote to stay. But if she has to do it in 15 seconds and Chemo's the last one to talk to her, and someone says, how are you going to beat T-Core? I think if Rubina votes out T-Core because that's who's up, Chemo and T-Core, I think that'll be like a crazy moment, and tears and fallout from that is something I'm like so excited for. But maybe that's not happening until next week. I just think the people that can win, let's put them in fours and fours. People that can win, Chelsie.
Like overall game?
Yeah. Top 4 people that can win right now: Chelsie, T-Core, Mackenzie. You gonna go Cam or are you gonna go Leah?
I'd sooner go Cam.
Okay. So that means the other 4 that aren't gonna win are Leah, Rubina,
Angela,
Chemo. We're always forgetting about Chemo. Chemo has no shot at winning, I think, just because we forgot him on our pinky. Angela, like, I would love for Angela to keep doing Angela shit. Like, what place do you think Angela gets? I think this is a good like overview episode of like let's do the next 3 weeks of what we're thinking.
4 or 3.
Okay.
I think you just keep Angela. It's like them keeping Victoria in the game in 16. Like,
I think another person that makes sense is like Cliff from Big Brother 21. Of like, he got 4th. He went out at a time maybe Angela would have gone out, but he won his way back in. But like, I think that kind of energy of like, let's align and keep each other safe. But now there's outer room. I'm gonna go. I don't want somebody to take Angela over me at 3, so I'm gonna get them out at 4. I think is a thing that makes sense. I think I am personally rooting for. I can't root for Mackenzie because I've been against her, but I'm impressed by her. I just don't like NM, obviously. But like, I want Leah to win HOH. I think that is team best feeds right now. And it would be you just lost whatever Quinn was to you. What do you do with that power?
Yeah.
And
I want to know more on Mackenzie and Leah's relationship, because I feel like they've like just been like pinned together, but now kind of aren't together, because now Leah was with Joseph and Quinn a little bit more. Mackenzie was making inroads with Chelsie and Cam, and it was just like I want to know how they are together.
Right.
Still.
And that's something where everything we've ever said about Big Brother 4 with June and Allison, this is kind of where they figured out of like, why are we going against each other? We should get a duo going in the middle of this out of nowhere. Like, I kind of do love how fluid the game feels like it'll be, because a lot of people are just equating this to like, it's a trio, and then Leah and Angela are in the middle. But I definitely feel like those trios are not going to be around at Final 5. And so it would be kind of dumb to put up Leah and Angela, but I'm sure somebody may do that. But then I think we'll see the veto used again.
Yeah.
And then again, it will be now that we've come to our senses, we realize that we have to take a shot at the other side. I think the other thing, I'm not trying to dog T-Core right now. It's just, there was a thing she said out loud of she would prefer that like Leah gets nominated sooner than her. That way, when she's at the end, she could say she was the last one to get nominated. And she's telling Rubina and Chemo this, I think. And you're just like, if you're planning on being in the final 2, that doesn't include one of the 2 people you're talking to. And you're telling them, here's my rock solid argument of, if I'm the last person to get nominated, I'm going to be able to have that scoreboard point against everyone. That's currently true against everyone besides Leah. So I would like that to be true against everyone. And you're like, this is something I would not be saying, because this is going to go through Chemo's head at Final Four whenever he's the only vote and he's voting between you and like Angela.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, he should vote out Angela because
Yeah.
he's so close to you. But I think there will be a moment of, am I so close to somebody, or is it too juicy? I need to take Angela another round. Like, everything I'm saying, I don't know if it's like, oh, this is just Big Brother, but like, some of the most boring weeks this season haven't been boring at all. So
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's going to be like, great job, because the last 2 weeks without Tucker haven't been boring. And like, we get our payoff of Quinn goes. I don't think there will be like, Quinn brought so much where it was the next layer of crazy. Like, I do think, as long as it's not a simple like, I'm Cam, I win HOH, and I'm just gonna put up those 3 because someone told me to, and there's no veto one. Like, that would be the only thing that would be like, even if the veto is used, I'll use the replacement. Like, I'm almost expecting like, I'm gonna put up 2 of the trio, the third person in the trio wins veto, takes that person off, then somebody has to nominate someone else. That person
Yeah.
goes, they're even more angry at 7. Like, that's what's gonna happen, because I think there's just, the Ainsley of it all is helping Big Brother 26 move forward.
Mm-hmm. Well, Ainsley is packing her bags, so
Where's she going?
we'll find out next week on Big Brother.
Oh damn,
All right.
you're over it. You're like, let's get done this. Who's your favorite Survivor person? Let's switch to Survivor real quick, just to throw it back.
Well, Susme is on. It's like for this upcoming cast, yes.
Sure. That's yeah.
So Susme is from my hometown,
Oh my
or
god.
like her
So
current
you've known
residence
her
is
for
my
like 30
hometown.
years?
No, I'm also only 27, but um and so like I have hometown like rooting interest, and then Teeny is big in the LRG world, and like we've like run in the same circles, know same people, so like rooting for her as well.
If anybody from my hometown made it to Survivor, I would hope they get last place, because that's my thing, okay? And we're not letting anybody from Odessa,
Yeah,
Texas
I
get
mean,
anywhere.
Putnam Valley, New York is not big, and I'm shocked that I don't know who this woman is, but
When's the last time you were in Putnam Valley?
it's like 15 minutes from where I live now.
Bro, go talk to Sue right now.
If I knew her address, but that's a little creepy.
Take her out to get nachos.
Nachos.
Yeah, my treat. I'll send a Venmo over if you get nachos with Sue.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, text her.
I'll just hit her up, be like, "Yo, I'm from PV2 and part of the specialist. Blake wants to buy us nachos."
Yeah, meet me at the nearest nachos to the Bass Pro Shop.
Bass Pro Shop. Let's go.
Sheesh.
All right.
What could this quiz possibly be, John? We don't care. It's gonna be fun no matter what happens. So
yeah. Goodbye from me, brother.